Ironically, the book of Revelation has been made difficult by the study of eschatology. This video is going to introduce the book of Revelation in a common sense manner, but there's a catch. Find out on this episode of Ancient Egypt and the Bible. This video is the first part of a series on the symbolism found in the book of Revelation. In this installment, we are going to set out some basic principles for understanding the book in a common sense manner. But we also need to set out a couple of disclaimers. First, we are not going to advocate for any particular eschatological system. Those systems, when superimposed upon the book of Revelation, only seem to lead to confusion over the message that John was trying to communicate. Besides, such systems are outside the scope of Revelation, since that would involve the eschatology of the Gospels and Epistles, and this series is not going there. Second, we are not going into historical theology. Frankly, historical theology has messed up a lot of the interpretation of the book of Revelation by proof texting and by ignoring the most important hermeneutical principle of the book. With that said, that segues into our approach to the book of Revelation. John makes a sweeping assumption as he wrote the book. It's the same assumption that the writer of Hebrews makes, but on steroids amped on energy drinks. John presumes that you know your Old Testament like the back of your hand. So that's what it looks like. John is not seeing a de novo vision without any previous context for which he has no reference. And exegetes often make this mistake when they approach the text. In the past, exegetes have tried to recontextualize the apocalyptic genre to make it fit their current historical context. And on one hand, there's nothing necessarily wrong with that approach. However, apocalyptic literature is an amphibolous text. It has two meanings: a meaning from its original context, and a recontextualized meaning. Focus on the latter ignores and misdirects from the former. A recontextualized meaning will change with every generation, as the current context of the day changes. But the original contextual meaning never changes. So, to properly understand the symbolism of the book, we need to focus on that former original context and stick to that contextualized meaning. So that way you can get the most out of the symbolism of the book. So the takeaway from John's book is that you are expected to know the Old Testament thoroughly. And he's not going to mollycoddle your ignorance of the scriptures. I, however, realize that Western Christianity has been taught practical Marcionism for the past century and may need a little help getting back into your Old Testament. So that's why we're going to ease you back into the Old Testament as we introduce you to the book of Revelation. The other thing we need to be mindful of with regards to the book of Revelation is that while the study of apocalyptic literature often focuses on last things, the book of Revelation also has a very strong wisdom element. This is not uncommon for apocalyptic literature that strove to guide people in the here and now. However, it is an aspect of the book that is often ignored, but we are not going to ignore this. It constantly is asking us the question, how shall we respond in the present crisis? That is important to those living through the tough times and emerging victorious in Christ. So, anyway, I hope you found that video interesting and you'll learn something. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time on Ancient Egypt and the Bible.